In the back.
All right, what's happening, guys? Your boy Dre the Reaper, and guys, I'm here getting it done at the guys' table with the infamous Mr. Ro Tastic. My brother, it's a pleasure to have you on. We got a lot of little topics that we're going to dive into, but we're mainly going to try to talk a little bit more on the financial side of youth and just helping the youth have a good structure plan going forward. So if you are fresh off going into college or coming out of high school, like you might want to listen up to this. We're going to have some key tips in this video just to talk about just how to like be able to, build that ladder so you could be able to have a good structure, early retirement, in sight, or just have more vacations, more trips, more things, more sustenance, more assets in life. So, but before we talk about that, you know, Mr. Rotastic, introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, and what's up.
What's going on, all my beautiful folks? It's your boy Ro here. You can find me on TikTok under Ro_Tastic. So ultimately, I just want to make sure that we kind of bring some form of value to you all in any way, form, or shape. You know what I'm saying? To uplift you mentally, physically, spiritually, in any way capacity. And I really appreciate y'all rocking out with us, taking the time to actually listen in. We got some great things to talk about today. And also, don't forget to go ahead and drop a like. I'm gonna give you a second to do it, and also drop a comment in the bottom. So let us know what it is that you all would like to hear from us brothers, and eventually, sometimes we have most of the time we have our cousin on as well. So yeah, so much love, y'all.
Yeah,
As you were
so
saying, hello.
it is it is rodeo season, baby, and you know everybody flies in from everywhere to be right now in Houston, Texas. Is a big rodeo month. The whole month of March. So I this year your boy is not going to be there. Super busy, but your boy's not going to be there this year. But definitely next year and the year after that, I'm going to be there. It was pretty dope, man. The rodeo in Texas, people underestimate that stuff. That thing is packed. Like it's like concert on crack. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting back to it, man. But yeah, I think. What do you think, bro?
Hey, that thing,
You like
hey,
my
that thing
straw
looks
hat?
spiffy, man. That
My
thing looks
straw
real
hat, man.
spiffy. What I would say is this. So hold up. So when it comes down to it, you be doing your thing,
What,
like so. I say you be doing your thing when you. So hold on, I never knew you was a good cowboy like that.
bro? How much photos and videos do you see me on horses, bro? Like I must,
Oh
I must,
man.
I must not. I haven't officially became a cowboy yet. However, I did have this one client that like was supposed to like take me under her wing and kind of like show me the ropes and everything, but um, I'm probably gonna have to like take up probably like a good chunk of the year, sometime next year, and try to like own down on the skill because that stuff is tough. It is tough.
Yeah, I
People
was
don't even
about to ask.
underestimate. It's tough. Like horse, roping, man. It is. You talking about a
So
workout?
in comparison to a bike or a horse, like the fundamentals vividly different,
Uh,
or obviously I know the you're controlling the bike a lot more, but like as far as the
yeah, there's no comparison, man. There's no comparison. Yeah, I mean, you never been on a horse? Oh man, yeah, bro. You gotta get on a horse. You got no, for real, you gotta get on a
so
horse.
it flows with your tempo, huh? Or like as far as there's a way that you signal certain, like, does it, like, how does that process work? Like, does it flow with you if you're not in sync with it, it acts up, like, or it just flows because it's gonna flow? You see what
Just like any other, you know, domesticate, domesticated animals, like they're pretty, if you teach them, they could adapt. The thing is that with horses, they're more empath. They're a lot more. Um, that's why a lot of people have them as, you know, uh, have them as companions. A lot of people have horses as companions. Believe it or not, they even call the damn just like how they would call dogs their animal. They best friends or
yeah,
but horse is just a bigger you know a beast. Put like that,
I
just a
see.
bigger beast, but a very intelligent beast. And it's like you have to be able to like understand that the sway and flow of the horse is all depends on if you're connecting with the horse or not. You know, there was
Okay.
this time that I was in Colorado and I was riding horses, and that was that was like horrible. that was that was horrible, man. Like I had a big stallion, like big black stallion. They call them stallion because they're bigger than a regular horse. And I had the biggest horse there, so I was on it, went up the mountains and the hills, and man, like it just was not. I don't know if it was just not if it was tired or what it was, but me and the horse didn't connect. Like
Mm,
I was trying to go fast. The horse was not going fast, and there's certain technique you got to be able to master. And that's why I said I just want to be able to own down on that skill. Once I'm able to own down on that skill, then you're gonna
yeah.
start seeing me teaching people how to ride horses and how
Come on
to
now.
because I'm a big fan of that stuff. I'm a big fan of learning. So it's like anytime I see something like a tall order like that, I'm like, okay, that's something that's needed. You know what I'm saying? Like people would go
Yeah.
out a lot too on excursions and stuff like that, and they be like, "How do you straddle a horse? Like, how do you, how do you maneuver on a horse? Like, do you pull up on the leash? When you want to go fast, do you grab the reins and do you pull down hard? Like, there's certain techniques. Like, do you got to dig your heels down into the horse? Like, there's a certain technique.
Right, right. That's what I was
There's a
about to
certain
say.
Yeah, just it's a certain technique, man. That's how I want to master it. I
You
want to
gotta beat that
master
thing
it,
with a whip.
you know.
Uh,
But you got to get on the horse. You got to get on the horse, man. What's stopping you?
gotta go find a ranch. Find a ranch and find somebody with a horse. I think I
You're
see
in
some horses.
Florida, man. It's the best place to find some horses. You just got to find the right community.
Hello. That's all. That's all. Are you right about that?
Yeah, you got to find the right community, man. Like I met a couple people down there that had like I remember I bought my Chevy Avalanche. You remember that black truck that I had, that Chevy Avalanche truck?
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
guy who owned that truck, believe it or not, had a ranch. And yeah, and it's like, it dawned on me. And I'm like, man, I should just, instead of just buying the truck, I should just be like, hey, man, would you mind, showing me some tricks and techniques and, can you teach me how to like really, man this beast and stuff like that? But I wasn't fixated on it. I think a lot of times though, bro, honestly and truly, if people don't tell you about things, you're not gonna be on it. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, like it's I could be
Yeah.
like I could look, look. For example, I could tell you, bro, you need to ride a horse. You'd be like, not riding a horse. But I'd be like, bro, you know how great you look on a horse, man. Your back muscles, your chest. Now, if I start making it interesting for you, you're like, and I'm like, bro, you know how fast you could go on a horse, bro? Like it's crazy. And you know how raw that would look? Seeing a black guy like you chiseled out his mind, coked out, carved out. Like, who's this a stallion on a stallion? Like, who's this guy?
Uh-huh.
And you maneuvering the horse. Ain't nothing more impressive than seeing a black guy like you on a horse maneuvering the
Paint
beast
a
like
picture.
that.
Paint a picture. That's what it is. You got to paint a
You
picture
know.
for these. I agree. I agree. Now you're right
So,
about that.
people would
It's,
tell you about things, but you got to make it be like, okay, but why? But then it'd be like, oh yeah, man, you get to, and it'd be like, yo, are you competitive? You'd be like, yeah, I'm competitive. How competitive are you? And then are you willing to get down and dirty?
Mhm.
Are you willing to fall off and get up?
Uh-huh. No, 100%.
Like
100%.
these are real questions you got to ask people before you even ask. Tell them or get them an idea of what some of the things that they might find interest in. Yeah.
No, but you know what? That's why they always have. That's why they say there's nothing new under the sun, right? Now, all it is that it's left up to us to go ahead and go in things and see what's for us and what's not for us. But we gotta venture out and come either experience it or be able to converse with folks who don't experience it to determine if you want to experience it.
Mm.
And like they have acronyms out here like RATS. You'll be like, what the hell? Right?
Mm.
R, relationship. A, action. T, technical. S, S is, wow, what is S? S is something.
You
S is
said it.
something.
Something. You said it. Something.
But
It's
now
already
imagine
said.
that's just credit. That's talking about individuals,
Hmm.
character trait. So now when you tell a person like, hey, put these things in order from greatest to least where you're at. You get 10 people to do that, you get to see, all right, who's the first A's? All right, I got my A's right here. Okay, I got my all right, my relationship type folks or my team, oh, I got my technical, and that's how it works. So ain't nothing new under the sun. We just gotta be able to be exposed, come across these things, and kind
But can you say though? Can you say you meet a lot of people that's in fear of being exposed?
of 100%, percent, hundred
Because
percent.
you know what? I was kind of that person at one point. I was afraid to be exposed to a lot of things, and then I let go of that fear when I realized that time is the only thing in this world that no matter what you can get back. People could buy anything in this world, but they can't buy back time. Like you only 18 once. You're only 15 once. You're only 21 once. And then once you realize that, you be like, oh, I could never be that guy. I could never be 35 and not have, or not explore the world, not been at this place, and I
Mhm.
used to think like that. I used to think like that when I was 19. I used to be like, I'm never going to that guy's since 30. He's done. Like that guy's done, bro. Like, what? I'm like, bro, you're not a man of the house. Ah, get out of here. Like, oh man, you don't have three Lambos outside. And you what, 35? Man, that's a lot of time, man. And this is me at age 19, but I never associated with just not being aware, not being aware and not taking those chances and those risks of learning that you only are limited by what you tell yourself you're limited by. And I had to learn that, as I grow up and get past age 19 and just realize that it's not just about self fulfillment, it's more, because a lot of times people associate exposure with self fulfillment, but it's not. Exposure is called the greatest teacher, and that's experience. So the more you expose is the more you become experienced enough to realize that the ocean is vast, and it's like we're trapped, and that's how I was. I was very trapped at 19, very trapped, very, one dimensional. Like, no, this is it. This is because I want to feel like this. I want to feel like that, and it's like, no, dude, it's a broader spectrum, So that is one of the things that man, mm, you can bite your teeth and just and just nudge at it because now we see our younger brother or nephews going through the same thing. They're going through that self-fulfillment stage, and it's like y'all gotta get exposed. You're gonna have to take those chances, and ditch ditch the limitations that they're setting for themselves, because I think that's how you set yourself in your ways. And people like how people set themselves in because they set themselves in their ways. You literally would trap yourself in your ways. The moment you start telling yourself, this is for me, this is self-fulfillment, this is what makes me, it's like, dude, no, what I'm saying? Like it's bigger than
But
that.
you know
You know
what's
what I'm
so
saying?
funny you say that? Because I went through that. Listen, you gotta understand, and this is why I tell people like, yo, you need things that's going to anchor you down. You don't listen, we already got enough testosterone in us, enough vigor, enough for those who actually, worked out in their lives and ate, you know what I'm saying, a little bit decent. Like you have that at that tender age, because I remember vividly around those times, and man, it's just like because there was things that I was responsible for or tied with, it allowed me to not indulge so much on the self-fulfillment side of things. Now, keeping that very same mindset through the midst of adversity, that's
But
that's what.
what I mean, would you say you was getting exposed though? Like you was like using
Yeah,
your
no,
brain and you was getting exposed,
because of the
right?
simple fact that yeah, because I'm like, hold on, this is me getting out of the rat race. I'm seeing a different spectrum
I would
than
say the
most
comfort
people.
stage. I wouldn't even say the rat race. I say the comfort stage. You know?
Oh, so getting out of the comfort stage, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like getting out of the comfort stage. I was like, hold on. This is literally I have to
But I
take on
always
all this.
applaud you for that though, bro. I always
I'm
applaud
like,
you for that.
but I'm like, you gotta take like what I'm learning. I'm like, yo, you gotta take on all the response. This ain't you pushing it off to somebody. No, you taking it on. Like you're learning things, you're soaking it up, you're listening to others, you're constantly keep, and then you're going to meetings, you're setting things up, you're doing stuff with your smaller group. So it's not like a congregation like a church where you're like, oh yeah, guys, just go and then I'll see you next week. No, no, no. It's you're in the field
Daily.
day to day, emulating the
Hmm.
very same things that you don't learn from your higher ups.
So what
You
was
know,
the most stressful time around that? I mean, part of that time.
bro, the stressful time is when I put all my eggs in one basket.
Ooh.
So that leads into the segue
Yeah, it
about
does.
the
It
topic.
does. Yep, it does.
Not putting all your eggs in one basket because everything just seems to be the ideal thing to do, because then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage,
Advantage. I agree.
you know.
How much time? How
Um,
much time? How much time we get trapped in that mindset though? How much time we get trapped in that mindset? Oh, like I'm going all in right here, bro. Like this is,
dude, you
and
know
what
what
a
it is? I think, I think part of it like self fulfillment, and possibly not not being bought off on the overall picture without looking at the smaller intricate aspect of things,
oof. The small
realizing
details
how
pay.
the dividends. So it's like when those people who you're listening to, they don't break those things down, it leaves you
Mm-hmm.
at really vulnerable
Yeah.
and making impulsive decisions like, oh yeah, go all in. You know how heavy that stuff was? Go all in. If you ain't doing all in or nothing, you ain't doing shit. It's like, what? Come on, man. You ain't talking to me like that. So, and this is where peer pressure come into play. Peer
Mm-hmm.
pressure influence, but you got to ask yourself though, in
So
what
if you
way
could
is it?
dial it back a little bit, right?
Mhm.
And say, because this is you talking about a time in your life when you was in a very like um strenuous position, because you and I'm gonna give you a little backstory, because you just had, your kid, and you just decided to take on financial independence in a way, because you was going into insurance, you was going into life insurance. So give us a little backstory, a little bit like how you was putting all your eggs in one basket with that, and what was like, how did it feel at the time, and would you recommend anybody to do that, and if not,
Listen,
why?
man, I remember vividly, bro. Like so vividly to the point that I recall after I done, because I was I was an apprentice in the welding industry. So when I started doing the business, I was doing the business for some time now, and I was like, man, I
So
got me
you
a
was
little
so hold on, I'm sorry. You was an apprentice in the welding, and then you go ahead.
right. And then I started part-time doing the financial industry. So I got licensed for my life insurance license, my 214. And
And
then
how old you was at the time?
this was 19,
Yeah.
20, 19,
See,
19,
guys,
20,
right here. Take that advice from right here. He's
19.
telling you straight from his mouth. The mom's coming. He's coming straight from his mouth. Like, listen up.
and and so I started to do both. So then right after work, so I had to be there at 6, get there, get off by like 4 or 5, give or take. Then I had to go to the office, got my clothes, got my suit, because you're all muddy, you all, you know, dirtied up and
Dirty.
stuff. So I'm changing in the car, got my suit and tie, boop boop, go sit down and go do some appointments. Whether if it was interviews for people want to be on board or if it was potential clients
Mhm.
that
How was
we
your
would
eating
have.
at time at this time?
It was still like 20, 20.
No,
You
no,
said
no,
how
no,
old?
no, no. I'm saying how was your eating? How was your eating at this
Oh
time?
man, my eating was trash. It was trash. Matter of fact, I was eating the damn food. I was eating the damn food that was on the trucks that come to the sites.
Oh,
So you know how that
God.
is. They got
Oh,
boy. Listen,
bro,
that's a hard attack.
I that, I
So
hated that.
so
Yeah.
you get the dip, and if not, it was just sandwiches or something like that. You want something quick. You gotta get.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
don't need things that's gonna sit too heavy. You can't have no full course meal.
And what he's
So
talking about, guys, is the food truck. They had these food trucks that come to the job sites, and they would deliver. Like, they usually come, because I talked to one of those guys before, and they said they usually get the food from a restaurant, and the restaurant will have these food already cooked, and they sometimes get the food that's leftovers and bring it out in the food trucks. Some food truck companies, they'll have a good contract with some of these restaurants, so they get it specially cooked to the side. But some of them is leftover food that they get from restaurants, and they just bring it out and they give it to these workers that's out in the field. So the food trucks that you see on the road is what he's talking about.
listen, that's the heaviest I've ever gotten. You hear me? Within that time frame, that 2 year time frame, I got up to about 230. I can recall it, but
You did that for
that
two
was
years?
for 2 years.
Wow.
And what happened was 1 year with one company and the 1 year with the next. And um, so by that time frame, about like 20 or so, 21,
So
going
you
into
were still
21,
doing? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say going into 21. Now this is where things started to go haywire because now I decided to just go full time in the insurance business,
Wow.
and I went away with I said the construction. So with doing that, mind you, I still have a family.
Mm-hmm.
They
Still
and
got
not to mention,
bills.
so not to mention. I even got the mother of my child in the business. She was licensed to. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? So that's
Wow.
why. So that's why when we went to the what was it called? We went to the convention. We went to Georgia because they ran out of Georgia Dome for all of the for everyone to come to give out awards and stuff like that. She was there too with our little team. We had a team and everything. So so I'm like, yo, this is I'm bought off. However, these checks
Yeah.
don't come as frequently, you know. Like you may be all in, but you know, predicated on
So
who you're
was the
dealing
money the motivation at the time?
was the money the money couldn't have been the motivation because the money there wasn't much money flowing through. I was funding it. I was funding the operation. Like even though
So
we
what
had
you're taking the money from the welding or you're taking your commission
yeah,
funding
no
the
from the welding. Like
okay.
if yeah, like that was covering things.
Oh wow.
There wasn't much checks coming from the business itself unless I
Hmm.
wrote policy. You know, or people who I got brought on board, they were able to run policies and I got a
Hmm.
split. So I'm just like, man, like this is what's to come.
Hmm.
And yeah, needless to say, you're hearing all the stories about people going in. You know, I had, you know, I was down to my last. Like they're selling stories like this, like it's hot pancakes, man. I'm just like, I feel that, man. We down to our last. But hey, you see, it's not wise to have all your eggs in one basket and just be sold off on a business that's ran predominantly on commission base. You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So yeah, so that's where things started to go high. I mean haywire. You know, family. It was all hell broke loose.
Mm.
And before you know it, you know, I just went on a selfish rant for the next
Hmm.
couple of years because I was so fixated on trying to do something or build something. They didn't go how I intended it to. And then I just went on a selfish run, you know?
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I
So
just
is it because of it wasn't paying dividends to you right away that you just felt like, hey, this ain't making currency and I need to generate currency? So
oh yeah,
what was the fallacy behind it in the sense of like if you were
the
supposed to
potential earnings,
backtrack, huh?
like the potential earnings.
Yeah, like if you were supposed to backtrack, what could you have done differently to because you was all in. You know, you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
your
So
you got your partner bought off. Your partner was in it too. You had a team. Like, what could you have done differently to get to that next level? And like I said, if somebody was in your shoes right now, listening to this and saying, "Yo, dude, like." I'm about to go all in into this, like, and but they buck up on this podcast and they say, they're 19 and they're like, I'm about to go all into this. What tip and ideas would you give to them?
well, it's you got a family,
Start
if you
off
got a
first with
small
what could have done differently.
right. What I could have done differently in my situation with a small family, I gotta still keep some form of revenue coming in from the stable job that's coming in because when you're dealing with commission base, is whatever you hunt, you kill, that's what you eat. So if you're operating, if you don't have a system that's bringing in a minimum of 10 clients already, you know, the checks are hefty. However, you got to have 10 people coming in already for you to be able to kind of say, all right, I could only own in on this one. But with a family situation, what I could have done better was it's a new environment, meaning most individual I come across, like when you're talking about finances, you already have to be showing some level of. So this is where being self-aware comes into play, And even if you're looking at other people, you have to be able to see how can it work for you and what you're selling. So I should have I shouldn't have been I shouldn't have got myself to a place where it was a struggling act I was putting on in order to kind of sell. It should have
But they
been
said people
natural.
was down to their last and they was able to rise to the top. So was
Listen,
that the fallacy?
the,
Like was that
no,
the
I mean maybe those things could have happened in those, thing in their time. Because we're talking about 5, 10, 15 years prior to that.
But what changed
It
though?
may
I mean, what changed with society? Like for that not to
I
happen
think
at
I
your time.
think I think what happens is that people, for one, they lose hope too quickly. Nowadays, that's supposed to then, and they expect things to happen overnight. But when you hear other people's story, they're like, "Yo, man, minimum 3 to 5 years, give or take." And we
Mm,
had our nose in the ground, like didn't go to no birthdays, no holidays, no this, no that. They had to miss me with that, and the family understood because I was building something. So they understood that concept. Fast forward, not so much. So if you're trying to do that, you're gonna have to do it on your own. Yeah, to some degree, to some degree. Not saying that every situation is like that, but that's how it's coming out because a lot of people are worn out now. They're like,
mm,
"Hey, I'm tired of trying to build something, whatever."
mm.
Um, but yeah,
It's
what I
so
would have
cool to see. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, what I would have done better would just keep that flow of income coming in because you gotta fund it. You still gotta fund the lifestyle to at least even if you're talking the talk, they gotta be able to see it well, you know,
Hmm.
be able to see that you're coming from the means of the resource that you're offering us. Even though you're not putting no money in their pocket, but still they want to buy off and know that they're secure with someone who also has I can show them my policy, my investment, but it's like they want to see it on you. You got to be it.
So you got to smell like it. So it's almost like
Because
having that social media platform, and you on the yacht chilling back, and they want to see that. They want to see Mario in the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, man, take my fifth vacation for the year.
that's exactly what they want to see. They want to see me. Oh, they want to see. They want to see you talking with
What
a
kind of mic is
bezel.
that you using?
They want to see you with the bezel on their hand at all times, no matter
Oh
what. You could be in
man.
the kitchen. You
Oh
could be
God. Man, you iced out. You iced out.
all because these people like, oh my god, that's like, yo, are you kidding me? But yeah,
But
no, that's what I was telling. Mhm.
hmm so if you could have went back, you would have said you need to have more icy photos and more luxurious lifestyle looking. Like, would that be the changing factor for you? Like back then, would that
it
been?
it would have helped. It would have helped. It would have helped because think about it.
Damn,
In
that's
order,
crazy.
no, no, in order to amplify the sales that I needed at that given time, you have to be able to yeah, your personality and all that good stuff. That's like the closing aspect. That's like the icing on the cake. But what's gonna get them to be able to say, hold on, let me
Can I
even tune in.
can I ask you a quick question?
Talk to
Your mentor, especially I met him before. He was a really good guy. Olivier, I think it was.
me. Yeah,
Really good guy. Did his
they still
lifestyle
in it.
portray that?
It's funny because their lifestyle, as far as the way they live and their what they acquire, and they show the accounts, yeah. But they themselves went about it the right traditional way. Meaning living below your means, even if you're making 100, that like living below your means for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yep.
So therefore, that stuff can really pile up.
Hmm.
And so now they don't because they realize that when you show yourself too flashy, you become a target.
In
So
what
their
way?
thing, you become a target to unwanted attention, not to unwanted to get unwanted attention. like individuals that means probably no good to you,
Mm.
or in that aspect, you become like a target to some kind. So they keep it. Nah, but as far as their home though, yeah, they maximized on that. They got their own office space, maximize on those
So did
things.
you see like photos of these things that make you be like, oh damn. Okay,
Yeah,
so they did have the lifestyle, but they
and they invite you. They invite you out. Like when you are in a part of the team, you go to different events that they hold and
oh
things like
yeah.
that.
I
Yeah,
mean, dude,
yeah,
like if I was in that stuff, I would have run out a whole like spa area in South Beach, and I run out a whole like even a bar, whole club section. I run out a whole club section, and I would even order bottles over, and I would even it is a real thing because I met this real estate agent that she took us out for lunch. Um, Before we even like bought anything, before we're just potential, right? Because I was trying to get a property, so she was just like, okay, boom, you want to start with me? Let's meet over here. We could talk. She didn't buy us lunch. She made us meet her at this very luxurious place. Which it was like a crepe place, but it was just like nice and clean. The setup, the ambiance was nice. All that stuff is important. You know what I'm saying? Even though she ain't paid for our meal. You know what I'm saying? But just by you going and feeling like, ah, it puts your mind already in the space of like, this is about money. This thing is about, I'm all into it. I'm all into giving, and that is a real thing. That is a real thing. So, guys, be mindful out there. If you're young, be very mindful before you buy off into something. Understand what Mario is saying here. Ro Tastic is saying. And it's a very we can't overlook that point. What you said is that your mentor had a philosophy, which is like, yeah, I could make $100,000 a year, but I live below my means. Like I don't overexpand myself. I don't take a lot of vacation. I don't live above my means. You know what I'm saying? That means that you need to keep a very low overhead. Even though you're making the money, keep a very low overhead because that stuff adds up, right? That
hundred
stuff
percent.
adds up. So give me a quick rundown of like if you could have kept that that welding job, right? Would you and how would you go about funding the business going forward? Even though you was getting a lot of no's as far as like clients and stuff like that, like what would you have done different? Would you have bought a Rolly? Like you know what I'm saying? Like give me an insight. Like what would you have
No,
done differently?
it's more so keep everything going, but you know, as far as if there was any additional things that I could have added, like potentially leasing a particular vehicle, because if I'm gonna be meeting these people, I'm pulling up to their household.
What kind of
This is
vehicle
the
would you
first to
lease?
see it. Say it again.
What kind of vehicle would you lease? Right now in
Ah, man,
2026, what kind of vehicle would you lease?
probably a Tesla truck or something.
Woo!
Probably a
The
Tesla truck.
Cybertruck! The
The
Cybertruck,
Cybertruck.
bro! Yes, sir. Yes,
The Cyber.
sir.
The Cy-
Yes,
I'll pull up
bro.
in that because then you know when you're here talking about what you're talking about, it allows like you just
I don't even
mentioned.
think you
It's
gotta
like
talk. I don't even think you gotta talk. We pull up in Tesla truck.
come
You
back,
just you
listen.
don't even step out of your truck. They'll be like, "Hey, hey, stay in the
They're gonna
truck,
come
man."
in.
They gonna say, "Stay in the truck." I will see you. I'm cashing it right now. What link I need to do? I'm signing up, bro. No, you don't even gotta get out of the truck,
Matter,
man. Thank you.
matter of fact, we could do the appointment in the truck. Actually, we got enough space in here. We got the light. We got chandelier lights in here.
That is
So
a real thing. How much people you think doing that on that kind of level of like not like saying they're having a facade, they're making a facade, but they probably do have the expense to do it, or else they wouldn't be doing it. I'm hoping, right? But how many people you think that's creating that feeling like, oh man, like this is what it feels like or what it looks like. How many people you think that's doing that in that kind of like business? You think everybody's doing that, or is it like a small percentage?
No, it's like a handful. But what happens is just like anything else, people start to watch and try to mimic a bit. But no, trust me, there's even one guy I know, he built his whole island and he started a whole meetings at his facility. I'm talking about that thing. He got
Wow,
a
he started the
big
same time you started.
I think he started before me.
Mm.
But he's a couple years older though, but him and his wife started before me. And because I used to hear some of his audio. But as I see how he market on social media and things now, fast forward, it's nothing but luxurious, 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 luxurious.
Because I remember, I don't know if you know, and bro, you could, I mean, come on, we started social media roughly around the same time. You started a little bit before me, but you know, like there would be sometimes that we go down to like we change up the scenery. When we used to train, we used to change up the scenery. We used to be like, man, it's sad that we're not going to the local gym. We're gonna go to Miami. We're gonna go to Boca. We're gonna go to a different vibe. Go to the rooftop gym. We want to change up the scenery. Dude, like I think people back then was doing that on a scale of like, this is what my life is looks like on social media, but then their life was looking like something else. You know, like I think it was a vast majority of people doing that on social media. So it was so hard to believe what's real and what's not real. And then a lot of people wasn't speaking the truth. You know, a lot of people want the facade. They want this, this augmented of lifestyle. Oh yeah, but honestly and truly, bro, like it's people are buying off what they first see, right? And then they take off the mute volume, and then now they're listening to see if they really want to buy in. And I think what is doing better now in society is authentic. I think the more authentic the content is, and the more people could hear it, and the conviction you have, the knowledge has to be there too for you to be able to bring them in. So, do you ever um, think to yourself, like, if you had a Tesla truck, okay, now how would you be able to maneuver the conversation without sounding so saley? I mean, it's like sound like a salesperson. Like, how would you be able to maneuver that? Because you really didn't have to say much when you pull up with a Tesla truck now. So,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just who you. But so this is where it comes down to you gotta be it and not just look like it, right? Because if it's just a matter of looking like it, then you're not gonna have the know how to be able to connect properly, and then you're gonna come off socially awkward. So, I think ultimately how you not be a salesperson or so salesy, it's just you being naturally knowing how to connect with people and get down to the core of what it is that they have as an issue, and you can feel that. My thing is this: the closing part is at the end. Like either which way, you still want to create that experience, even though you got it in the bag. You still need a you still need to go ahead and curate a better relationship at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So it could make the closing just even more seamless. Like I've even had women say, "Oh, I was watching you for a couple of days. Now I'm ready to move forward." I'm like, "Well, god damn, I hope you figured this shit out." But no, it's funny, man. People on my
and
live.
that's true. I mean, because you're talking about now, right? You're talking about now people
Yeah, yeah.
because you're training one-on-one clients. People say, "Oh, now I want to move forward with signing up." That is real, guys. What Ro Tastic just said is real. That is very real. That people watch you for a while, and then they're like, "All right, I've been watching you now, so now I want to buy." How you think we could
Or
strengthen the ability to make someone just buy of just in 5 minutes or 10 minutes of watching you? Like what are some of the strategic things or words you could use that make someone feel convicted to just say, okay, I got to get this guy. I got to hire this guy?
Well,
Because you've
that's
been
the
in
thing,
sales for
right?
a very long time, so I'm trying
Yeah,
to get
that's the
strategy
thing.
moves here. I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to get some
No,
strategy
no, no,
moves here.
and that's the
First five
thing, right?
minutes. Yeah.
Everybody's different. Everyone's different. So my thing is, if and I think if you go back down to the personality types, you kind of know where to gear towards your talking points. If you're dealing with a type A personality, you're gonna be, listen, you gotta be able to go ahead and talk about getting it done, this and that, the impact, the euphoric feel. Um, we only got today. Tomorrow's not promised to no one. Like you're giving those talking, giving those angles on why they should push the envelope right now. Now you're dealing with a technical person. They could ride the wave. They just want to know. You got to give them sophisticated things. You got to give them the whole breakdown of stuff. Show them, So those talking points will be like the way you're breaking down a subject. Going down to the T, letting them know what software you use. Like that's gonna be ringers to their ears. They're gonna be, oh man, I like this. Oh, you got systems in place. I gotta go through this, go to the website, go to the link, go to the URL, go to the Discord site. Oh, I like this. It's technical. Now you got
So you
your,
got type A, you got technical.
and then you got your R, relationship oriented people. They like teamwork. Then it's a matter of, hey, teamwork make the dream work, baby. I like for us to go ahead and push to somewhere. We're trying to get somewhere as a whole because it's not easy by yourself. And then you start talking about a lot of different things surrounding them.
Hmm.
Um,
Like
just
family, the roots.
right,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. So wow, you got
Takes a
so
village.
that's pretty cool. You got type A, you got the technical people, and you have the people with relationship. You have those relationship kind of people. Wow. Is there any more,
There's
or is it just
there's an
that?
S, man, but I can't recall what the S is. You see, I'm rusty on that. I haven't used these because I already know it's in the mind, it's in the dome.
But
But
let's just say those top three, right? And who
right,
would you say out of those top three is those high ticket clients?
high ticket clients, it would have to be A, man. Type A's. A's. Yeah, they're the ones who see you. They pull the trigger, man. They don't. You don't gotta. I got some people right now. Like, hey, it's funny. I even got a chick that said, "Oh, I can't afford it, but I would love to." And I was like, "Hey, just holler at me." I have not heard from this. I was like, "Wow, you really?" I was like,
So
"Wow, man."
so hold on. She wants to sign up. She said I would love to, but I can't
I would
afford
love
it.
to. She just can't afford it.
So
But she
did
got a
did she
social
even
media.
know the
She got a.
price? Did you quote her?
Did I what?
Did you give her a price? Did you quote her? Like did you give her a
No,
quota?
it was through social. It was through social.
Yeah, but I'm saying like how did she know she can't afford you? Did you offer the price? Like I bro, but the reason I say that because I go through things like that too, bro. And I'm like, how you know? Like
I
I'm
d-
like,
no, which is why you know what they're so complicated already. But I say it's all right, just come. I just want to hear it. I just want to see you. I want to touch you, because then
not
I'll be
literally,
like
guys,
you
not literally. He just wants to see. He just want to be in the presence
figuratively.
and see. He wants because I think as people that's in the oil field, we understand that the moment that we have you in or present one on one, it's pretty much it's easy to just not like convince you, but give you understanding of why this is valuable and why just my characteristic works well with you. And that's what a lot of times people don't understand. It's good to vet people. It's not one of those things that you just try to say, oh, you know, oh yeah, because he's a sexy man, I should just work out with him. No. You need to vet people. You need to be able to go around him and feel him out. If Rotastic has his literally, hey, these are my these are my consultation prices, and you look at his consultation price and it's $100, and you're saying, well, if his consultation price is $100, how much is he charging for a session? And it's like, honestly and truly, sometimes I try to tell people like the consultation is just to see if you're willing to devote yourself to go to the extreme. Because like I'm not going to try to sit here and sugarcoat it to you. If my price is 150 an hour, like, and I'm giving you a consultation for an hour, I'm trying to vet you. You try to vet me, and then next thing you realize that sometimes because it's not everybody you're going to get is the people that you really want to work with. And sometimes you will get the people who are willing to pay your fee, but they're not the people that you really want to connect with. And people don't understand that. Like being a trainer, we go through that stuff all the time. And it's like I try to tell people like I don't turn down people that like they're willing to pay me my rate an hour. And I said, great. And then I realized that I meet them and we worked out for the first consultation. I'm just like, yeah, this ain't gonna, I automatically would tell them, hey, this ain't gonna work. And they'd be like, oh, okay, I really want, and I said, I understand, but, I don't have the time available. I would let them down easy and say I don't have the time available, or I'm booked up in that section. Maybe I'll have something in the future, but I would honestly and truly let them go because I don't want to hold you and tell you that yeah, give me next week and let me think about. No, is that if I come to you or you come to me and we're doing a consultation and I could feel that we can't, because training one-on-one is a relationship. You agree? Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's a relationship. So it's just like if you're trying to build a relationship, right, and you're trying to build, hey, this person is type A, they just want to get in, that's still a relationship. This person's technical, that's still a relationship. A relationship person is even a relationship. Like it doesn't matter what kind of characteristics you are, it's a relationship. So you as a trainer has to be able to turn on and off that switch. And you need to be able to understand that if you get a very high toxic person and they're paying you $500 a session, a hour, right? $500 a hour. That's really good pay for a personal trainer. You have to say to yourself, am I going to condemn myself to this toxic behavior or this toxic talk with this person all the time just to make my money? And honestly, truly, like, I don't care what nobody say. My ears goes, I listen to things and it goes up here in the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a nice funnel, but it's the toxicity. If it's a person that's doing too much every time, and you could feel that energy, it's gonna not make you want to do your best job. So I always try to tell people, vet people, try to do your consultation. Don't be scared of a consultation fee because you could have someone that charge $150 a session. The consultation fee is $100, but because the relationship that you brought, you bring your own true, authentic person self and dedication to that person, and that person say, you know what? What's your job? What's your stuff? That's how we vet people. Like, can you? But what's your budget like? Can you budget this? And then we will work with you on something. If it got to be every 2 weeks, you do your payments, or every other week, or once a month. However you're gonna do it. And if we gotta come down and not train for an hour, but train for 30 minutes, that's why it's called a consultation. Is to vent you and you to vent me, so we could be able to make this work. I didn't mean to go on a tangent there. I
Yeah.
didn't, I didn't mean to go to a tangent there, but as soon as you said it, I was like, how do you know? And I get that a lot in my DMs. Oh man, I really want you. I had this person hit me up, and it's so crazy. They're like in Atlanta, and I'm here in Texas, so they're in Atlanta, and they said, "Man, I'm I want to come train with you." I said, "All right, come on." They was like, "Oh, but you in Texas?" I said, "Yep." Then the person said, "Can I fly you out to come train me?" I said, "Yeah, you can.
Oh, oh,
You can." Like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I don't mind training professional people. That's what I do. I'm in this field to train professional, high stress people. Like, it is okay if you're an actor, actress, if you are a rapper or singer, whatever it is, doctor, whatever it is, I'm here for that. It could be the president. I'm here for that. I could travel
No,
and train you. That's
no
okay.
problem.
But now when I give you that fee, you have to be able to willing to pay my fee because I'm willing to travel to come train you. It's that simple. So people just need to understand that if you're going to message someone, it's best if you try to say, "What's your consultation fee?" and see if you can meet with that person, even if it's a virtual training, you know. And I was trying to tell that person in Georgia, like, yeah, come on through, or yeah, when you come over here in Texas, I'll do a consultation fee with you. I could do a consultation training with you and see if we match, you know. So, but like I said, I haven't heard from that person, so
Oh
just
yeah.
like how you haven't heard from that girl, it's the same thing here. That person just
Listen,
went MIA, and
listen. And that's why I say, like, I truly believe, like, ones that you're supposed to connect with, man, you'll connect with, and there'll be a right away of passage. There wouldn't be much friction going on, all of this pulling of the teeth, because if they themselves don't see the necessity in this thing, you're already going to be pulling teeth when it's time for you to be collecting payments on a monthly basis.
hmm
So if that's the case, I gotta sell you on why you are your most vital investment. That's a problem. That's a problem, you know. So yeah, no, no, trust me, it's one of those things, man. It's
so
definitely.
in the finance world, and now you're now you're in training, so pretty much welding, um, finances, and then now in training. Like, do you take any skills from those previous jobs and use it now?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I think that work ethic from working in the steel, that work
Mm-hmm.
ethic getting up early. Um, when it comes down to the finance part, a lot of the business structure, a lot of the concepts, how to be able to connect with people in order to create sales, um, and some of the ways, like when they talk about concepts of diversifying your portfolio, like not having all your streams coming through one bag, one not all your eggs in one basket, trying to find ways to get into different avenues. Even if it's small at the beginning, just find a way and get under a mentor of some sort. So be it open to that. Um, and like I did sales on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So that broadened my broadened my horizon to be able to be more comfortable speaking to strangers. Um, yeah. So definitely it has. Definitely
Good.
has. So I think because those are the things that you need. Because at the end of the day, people see you before they see anything else. Before they see the company, before you're who you're behind, they see you. They engage with you. So I spent quite a bit of time dealing with the, whether if it was angry customers or if it was happy customers. Saying so, always knowing how to maneuver through the temperament, people, and who you're engaging with is that's a skill set, boy. That's a skill set.
That is a skill set, man. And I do agree with that. I had a client ask me, was like, how do you deal with all these stressful um, talks with your clients? Because as trainers we get a lot of conversation with our clients that we're just like, wow, that's pretty extreme. And then boom, you're training the next client and you're like, wow, that's very depressing. Boom, you're training this client. They're jolly happy. And it's like you gotta constantly be shifting your temperature, bro. Constantly shifting it. And a client asked me, they was like, man, how do you deal with all that all day? And I said, well, you know what it is? I lift very heavy weights. You know what I'm saying? I said I lift very heavy weights. And I said, out of all my conversations, none of the conversations like burdens me heavy because the weights that I lift burdens me more than any other stressful conversation I had that day. And I said,
That's a good
that's one.
analogy. I like that.
That's
I like that.
bro. I live by that, bro. I tell people all the time. I say I live by that. I said I'm not just. I'm a natural. I'm a natural athlete, bro. I'm a natural person, bro. So it's like I don't even take protein shake. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying?
Same
Like
thing.
which
Yeah.
I should get on some protein shake. You know this year, but
Yeah, for sure. We will. Yeah, hey, the sponsors need to come through. And
you guys are having any
talk about
sponsors, any idea sponsors out there that want to sponsor us, let us know. We tapping with them. Or just tell them, hey, come over here, check these brothers out. You know, we're good candidates for good supplements. So yeah, bro, I just lift heavy weights, bro. So
no,
the
hundred
theory
percent.
for me to balance that temperature with different clients is just about lifting heavy weights.
No, you're right. You're right, and that's why I tell people it's so funny, right? I think what people can relate to, because a lot of people can't relate to that weight room shit, as far as the load. So what I tell people, this is, and you see, but hear my saying out. I say, yo, I tell them this. I say, yo, I inflict pain on myself in the gym by coming to the gym. So therefore, the people who are around me that love and care for me, they don't have to endure any of that backlash of it. So, and I think that, and I'm swear to you, for some reason, I think people like, you know what? I could
Cares. He cares. Well, so he said I inflict pain on myself. So the people
through the
who
weight room.
yeah.
So therefore, the people around me that I love and care for, that's there for me. They don't have to feel any of that effect. Nah, think about it. You know how many people are in the,
Um,
no, psychologically when you start to decode things and where people are in their mentality. For instance, man, I asked someone, I was like, "Yo, what motivates you?" She was like, "I don't. Right now, in this day and age, I
hold on, you ask somebody that?
do." And she was like, "I don't like." She was back. Like I had to go ahead and get the weight for her and just like, all right, continue your set because we're not gonna
Mm.
get nowhere with this. I was like, "Whoa," but you know,
Hold on, you ask a person what motivates them and they don't have no response?
they don't have no like this day and age with how the climate is with everything in life and just they're like,
The
and I'm like,
climate?
man, you said it again.
You said the climate? The
The the climate or the temperature of how everybody when it comes down to stress level, like
okay.
the temperament. My bad. There we go. The temperament of where people are right now with just coming off from last year being a year where a lot of people was you know doing away with certain things and people, places, and things, and then now they're in the year of the horse. It's yeah.
Okay, I don't know
It
what
was,
year the horse you're talking about because bro, woo, this thing done went sell. You know, like I'm living on either rock here in Texas. When you talk about the year of the horse, people play some things like I don't even know what that is. You know, is that
it's the
is
it's the Chinese. When we used to go to the buffet and they used to have the Chinese thing.
yeah
Right. So last year was the
yeah.
year of the snake.
Mm.
Right. So that was the shedding. And this year is the year of the horse. So
Mm. Oh yeah,
yeah,
because that
man.
stuff goes for like it goes around for the calendar years. So it'd be like
Hmm.
1988, this is what happened.
Hmm.
1989, this is what happened. And 19, okay, I see where you're
Yeah,
getting with that. I see where you're
yeah,
getting with
yeah,
that.
yeah. You see,
So
there's some things that I
would you say that's a Chinese thing? Would you say like because what you gotta understand here in America, man, we are a melting pot, bro. That means that we all come from somewhere. And if you're talking about strictly from a Chinese perspective, Whew. I mean, let me know if you got any Chinese relatives that I don't know about, because I'm pretty sure we're blood here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where am I disconnecting a little bit? You know,
Well, everyone's always looking for a sign, man. Everyone's always looking for a sign for something. So, the more we could embrace something that looks like hope, I think the better off we'll be instead of us just being like, man, F it, man. We don't
it's so
like
funny
you
you
see
say
what
that everybody's looking for a sign. I think personally, people need to go out and create that vibe of, man, what is this teaching me or telling me? Make sense?
100%.
People are not
100% more.
engaging no more. People are lazy. And the reason why I
No,
say
for
that,
sure, because
bro, go ahead.
no, no, as you were. No, because the technology has gotten a hold of people to the point where it's no different from work. Once they finish with their office job and they go home and then they get comfortable and instead of being proactive and go do something a little, they got to be behind a screen and then they're entertaining something else. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times people aren't bought off on their own thing. I would say, you're too overly consumed with everything else instead of trying to build what you have going on, build your community or build your outlet, I should say. Um, Go to creating versus documenting versus trying to create. But yeah, no,
Interesting.
I mean, it's easier to just jump online. It's easier to just jump online. Listen, like that's why I'm thankful that I still have my work ethic and things of that nature because people get to a place where they start making X amount. They're like, why do I need to start? That's what happened. They get comfortable. They're like, why should I?
Mm.
It's kind of like now this is the one stream, and then it's like, oh, why should I still embark on other things? But then it's like, if you know how the world works, it's best to kind of keep the flow of one or two or even potentially three things going, even if it's not being fully activated or being fully engulfed, just for your security, just for our security. So I
People
think,
has a tendency to look for signs, and are you one of those kind of people that looks for signs too? Like, are you like, you know,
no, what I say is that if the signs come, the signs come, but I would have already been prepared for whatever that sign is to completely like embody what I need to embody from that opportunity. Like I think I'm more fixated on being groomed for this miracle. Like let's say if we want to call it like a miracle, yeah. If we want to
mm.
call this special time a miracle, like I think I'm more fixated on making sure I'm sharp and ready for that miracle that could potentially come. Um, Instead of just saying like, oh, okay. Because even if that thing does come at that particular time and you're not suitable, you're not the right person, you don't have the right perspective. You look at it like, man, who sent this? And you're just questioning it. You're not going to take full advantage of that opportunity. And I've heard people do those very same things. Um, so, uh, because I think when you're too skeptical, you know, that's where this may come about. Now you start to question everything as opposed to like, hey, if you were doing what you needed to do to some degree, you'll just have faith with it and then you'll rock with it. You'll know what these particular opportunities look like for you to have to capitalize off of. Mm.
So what I'm taking from that is that you do believe in miracles happening in its time, right?
I think it does transpire. Um, I think it does transpire. I won't say it's not completely because there's things that transpire. And I'm like, man, how did that come about? So you could say that a miracle, but I know it's coming through the form of people and probably places and things or so, give or take. Um,
Hmm.
but you still got to be the right candidate. So it still goes back to if you're not the right candidate, you're not going to be able to close that deal. They'll hear you and then they'll just, if anything, they'll make up something and say something happened, and then next thing you know, you're like, man, what happened to?
So because I stray away from in sitting back and looking for a sign. I stray away from that years ago. The reason being is that, like, the Bible would say, uh, you can have faith all you want, but faith without works is dead. So I think the amount and the quality of work that you put out is going to create that sign. I think when you're engulfed into being obsessive about something that you really want, the signs will come, but you have to be obsessive about it enough. Some people would sit, because I took myself out of the equation a long time ago. You, People would sit and they'll wait for the sign like a shooting star. Nah, gotta make it. And I still do that. When I see a shooting star, I'll be like, oh man, I gotta make a wish. The thing is that people fail to realize that you making a wish, when you make a wish, you kind of close your eyes, right? And you start making a wish, right? What does that remind you of? A prayer. When you about to pray. People fail to realize that meditation, prayer, taking time to yourself, detaching away from social media, putting yourself in self isolation is all part of a form of called generating your. It's from the depth of the soul. You're generating and manifesting what the sign you want to see. Make sense?
100%.
So a lot of times we're sitting down and we like to see a sign. We have to generate it. And then when you put the work out, the sign was, here I am. You get what I'm saying? That's why faith without work is dead, and work without faith is also dead. Because you can have all the work ethic, but if you don't have the faith, it's dead. So you have to be able to generate it and manifest it. Miracle is about manifesting. The more you're able to generate it and create it, spend time in due diligence of the work, conviction, the belief, the work ethic that you put in, the quality, then the sign will be there. And I think I'm a big believer. You have to walk to the sign. The sign will be here. You could be over here. You need to walk to that sign. That sign, you're not gonna be over here, and the sign's gonna come to you. I I I I detached myself away from that years ago, bro. Um, because I realized everything that you ever wanted, you had to put some kind of form of work ethic to be able to achieve it on that kind of level. So that brings us back to the top topic here, guys, man. And like I said, we're gonna wrap this up. We went on a little spill here, but the main part is that you have to be able to want it bad enough. And I speak that on a high scale, meaning that not to the bad to the point that you fail to realize that you have to generate that want, that you got to be obsessed with what you really want and have a vision and then try to put in the work to obtain it. In reality, a lot of time, younger generation, bro, and you could attest to this, we get so sidetracked by this is the flashy thing, or this is what I want, or man, I want to buy this, this Rolly, because I want people to feel that I'm making this kind of money, or I want to buy the nice car, and I want to rent a nice car, and but their lifestyle is not matching that their lifestyle is more so matching of someone that's painting a facade than someone that's actually living that kind of lifestyle. Because rap is also a big influence of social media. People think all rappers are speaking truth. Like, oh man, yeah, really? He has this much islands. He has this much. Rappers are entertainers, bro. Like it's just like saying all comedians are telling the truth. It's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So social media is just an entertaining thing too as well. The educational part is what you have to find out behind the scenes. People who are like educators like you and myself, bro, we have a tendency to be speaking about the boring things. People just it's just like teachers in class. You be like, God damn, man, what's she talking about today? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's she talking about today? The rocks? Who care about the rocks, bro? Like, ah, and I used to be that kid. I used to be that kid in school that used to sleep. I used to sleep.
Oh
I
yeah,
was never an A student. I was always a C, D student. I'd be lucky if I get a B.
I was
The only thing
talkative.
oh, you was talkative? I
Yeah,
wasn't.
I was talkative.
I
Talk,
wasn't.
laughing, cracking jokes. It was,
I wasn't. I was one of them kids that I'll be in class and I'll be like, oh, let's go. 30 minutes. 15 minutes. Let's go, man. Like, but I'm always flirting with a chick though. That's for sure. That's one thing I always been. I always been kind of quiet, but I always been kind of like flirty. So that's part of my characteristics. But let's go ahead and close this out, bro. But real fast, guys, listen, for the next generation coming, guys, listen, if I was 18, 19, to create that financial stability and independence, you know, there's a couple things that looking back on my life, like what I would have done differently was these are three things I could give you right off back, right? Because I know how you feel. You're 18, 19. You're like, man, I'm about to run the world. You're like, man, listen, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna make this bread. I'm gonna crank up the music loud in the car. I'm gonna speed. I get it. I'm not stopping you. Do it. Do whatever you want to do. But take these three tips. Okay. One, to create that financial stability, you might want to understand that you need to be able to have a 9 to 5 while you're going through college. Okay, and that 9 to 5, check this tip out. You want to be able to take 50%, minimum 30% off that money that you're making and putting it into some kind of investment. You agree, bro?
oh yeah, for
Put
sure.
it in some kind of dividends. Put it in some kind of uh, what would you say?
Like a mutual fund of some
Mutual
sort.
fund or something that's going to give you some kind of return. It might not give you return right now because you're not looking for that. You're looking for the long haul, okay? Because 5, 7 years down the line, when you see that money stacking up, you're gonna be like, oh, wow. All right. So I'm not gonna go through a whole shebang of things that you could invest in, but just try to put your money into some kind of mutual fund. Okay. 30 to 50% of it. Right. So, and the next thing, what I would do, right, is to live below your means. I mean, if you gotta prep your food all the time and probably have junk food on the weekends, you're going to save a lot. Learn how to cook. Become not only financially independent, but become like independent, if you know what I mean. Like wash your own clothes. Learn how to, hey, we don't need to go watch this movie. We need to go sit down and play Monopoly. Like fellas, I'm not coming out to this club because it requires us to have $500 a seat. There's clubs out here in Houston that for a table is $1,000. Just for a table, for you get a table with a crew, you guys, it's $1,000. That's just for the table. It doesn't even come with bottles or nothing. It doesn't even come with cups of food or nothing. It just you're buying the table to sit. Stupid. So yeah. So learn how to cook. That's my next thing. Learn how to cook. Learn how to get your food. Like I said, probably eat junk food twice on the weekend or whatever. Treat yourself, right? That I would never take that away. Treat yourself on the weekends if you got to, but learn how to cook. All right. And my last one, guys. Give you a middle finger there. My last one, guys. If I was like 18, 19 again and trying to keep the financial game going, I would try to get around people who are making me uncomfortable, especially in growing. Like they're growing, like they're probably already there. And these could be like mentors, or these could be people that's like already established in your field. So for example, say you're taking a major and you want to become a doctor, get around doctors, get around nurses, get around the medical field. Find those people and try to pick their brain, talk with them, take them out for lunch, get get really acclimated with making yourself uncomfortable, because then once you build up that muscle of becoming uncomfortable to deal with people, then you will start building up this strength, this muscle strength. And I'm telling you guys, it's a muscle strength. It's not, I'm telling you, it's not a, I don't care what people say. Some people are gifted with it, some people are not. I honestly, truly know that as a muscle. You have to strengthen up the muscle of confidence. Okay? And then once you're able to strengthen that muscle of confidence and being uncomfortable with being in certain rooms that's making you feel like, man, I need to learn this, I need to grow into this. Then once you build up that muscle, you're so much more fluent down the line, and it makes you so much more a force to be reckoned with. Once you get older and get more mature, you become more seasoned, then that's when you become a boss. These are the blueprints that I would definitely give someone that's sitting right now at 17, 18, 19, whatever. You're sitting at that age right now. This the three blueprints, the three pointers I would give you right now. Take that, guys, and run with that. Bro, what you got?
That I mean, I think I already done. You want me to sum it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because I
yeah. You
don't.
can sum it real fast. Sum it real fast so we can close out here.
Okay, because I was like, I would say, yeah, actually become it. Um, Meaning, what I mean, become it as in, if you've seen in your younger years older figures that possess certain things, or older male figures, rather if it was the way that they handle business, the way how they dealt with family, um, they were just in the neighborhood, and you just knew them to just be a jovial person, a jovial male figure. This is on the male side of it. I would say try to speak with those individuals so you can be able to ultimately kind of get an understanding of what are some of the things that they pursued in their earlier years to kind of get them to build up their skill set where they are. Um, but I would definitely say just don't have all your eggs in one basket when it comes down to career path. If you have a job, keep your job, work the side business on the side, and juggle the two, because at some point in time you're gonna get tired of doing the 9 to 5 thing. And the more skill sets you have going into the business when it's time, when it's ready, that meaning when you're well seasoned, got some skill sets up under your belt, close some deals, you know how to maneuver through, you know. And three, invest into the stocks. Find different vehicles to be able to invest into, whether, like we were saying, the mutual funds, or if you have other high yielding savings account, other than your traditional CD at the bank, then I would suggest. And
And can I throw this out real fast? People sleep on saving accounts as far as like uh Credit Karma. Credit Karma has a a savings a savings account that gives you like a, sometimes it would have like 4%, and then sometimes it will have 2%. You just got to catch it in times. They change. Credit Karma is one, and PayPal has one. Um,
Mm,
and these are free. These are free. People sleep on free. Like you don't have to have. They don't require you to pay something monthly or nothing like that. You just have money sitting in that saving and the percentage, and that's something that you could do. You can start off small like that. You can start off with uh, PayPal
pretty
or
calm.
Credit Karma.
Well, that's solid, you see. So ultimately, getting well versed with trying to position yourself, and not just thinking one stream is gonna be the holy grail. So the sooner you're able to understand that, the sooner you could be able to get into different industries that seamlessly for you, um, the better. And then own in on your human skills, your personable skills, the things that's really gonna be able to seal the deal for you.
I agree.
I think there's no it's we
I
could say a
hate the
barrage.
fact. I hate the fact. Can I say this real fast? I hate the fact when people say, "I hate people." I hate that. I said,
And then
you do not hate
and
people. I said,
listen,
I,
how I hear that more often with women, but let me let you know. I listen, I heard this from somebody else, but yeah, now she hears talking about she's looking for customers. And I'm like, oh, I guess is it people or is it gonna be animals or aliens? I don't know who's your
you
demographic.
say, say, oh, who's
Because
gonna
it's
be her customer? Who's gonna be her customer now? Like it ain't
right,
humans,
because
because if you hate people, well, I guess the animal is gonna pay you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
but I know what it comes down to is because they done been did dirty. So it's just a matter of you got, and so you see with people like that, they're wounded. So now you got to curate that and flip the mindset, and but there's hope. There's hope. There's still hope, man.
Bro,
Hopefully.
real fast before we exit, man. Listen, it was a pleasure talking with you, man. I always love chatting with you, bro. This was very insightful podcast, and I know we kind of rambled on earlier, but this is what we usually get on this platform and we usually share what we've been up to and stuff like that. So if you guys want to hear more stuff like that, let us know because we did talk a little bit before we jumped on here, but we try to make it more informal sometimes, and sometimes we just kind of like free ball it as far as possibly just kind of like talking about our day to day things. But if we have some insight, we just try to give it to you guys. But bro, real fast, I I I'm battling with the fact of people not understanding that learning how to detach is also a muscle, meaning
Mhm.
that you have to be able to strengthen the ability to be in the business with people is also understanding that yeah, you could love and care and be relatable and all that stuff, but you got to also learn how to detach. I I had this client that she was just like, hey, I had to stop my training. I can't afford you. Just a lot of things coming up, and I said, hey, I totally understand. I'll be here for you when you need me. You know, just keep up your training, etc. The person texts me again. Hey, I don't know why this just feels like a breakup, and I said, hey, it's fine. Just keep working out. Person texts me again, and this is like different days. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm missing you. And this, I said, hey, it's okay. You got this. What people fail to realize is that I've been in this world of dealing with people, and no matter how much you might strongly build, like admire the person or build a very strong relationship with a person, there's a certain um of blockage that always need to be on your mind because you need to be able to create distance when it's time to separate, and you need to be able to detach and let your emotions, like, you could feel it in the moment but let it be the moment, and then walk away from that, because a lot of times it's not that your service is not good or your service is not working for them. It's just that sometimes people we're high ticket trainers. So, sometimes it could be a little demanding for people finances, especially if they're going through something or they take a cut pay or, they're injured or whatever the case is, something become a little bit more priority over that. I wish I could keep my clients for years on top of years, but sometimes it's things happen and you have to separate. And that's why I try to say always that. And I think people need to take that kind of thing of what I say about having a slight little bit of detachment mindset, because you're going to detach from people at some point in time in your life. It's just part of life. Don't feel to yourself like it's coming to the end of the world, this and that. No, if you want to talk to the person, text them, reach out to them, or if not, just find yourself to be able to say, hey, it was a good run, and I just had to separate.
There's some people in your life that's just gonna be seasonal, and there's gonna be some people that's gonna be lifelong. And
It's just that
whoever
simple.
slips through the lifelong process, more power to them. But the one who, is seasonal, we executed and got done what we needed to within this particular time. So hopefully you got out of it what you also needed out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to always keep those pillars in our mind is like seasonal, lifelong. What is, you know, and that's gonna depend on how things unravel, you know, because
Have your
sometimes you may have,
antennas up, guys.
yeah, exactly. You may have said, it's gonna be 6 months, and then next thing you know, here you are, a year, year and a half.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yep.
But
Yep.
so nah, 100%, bro. You said it. You
All
said
right,
it.
guys.
That's
We
pretty.
appreciate you. We love you guys. Thank you guys for your support. Stay strong. Stay positive. Bro, you have anything positive for the people out there?
Yeah, just stay up, stay positive, much love. Continuously embark on the things that you feel are challenging because at the end of the day, these are the things that are going to stretch you beyond measures. So I encourage that wholeheartedly. So
Guys.
just stay up, stay positive. Much love to you all. Continue being great out here.
See you guys on the next one.